Hello guys, SquidLord here, and today I am back at you with another Chrono Clash deck profile. This time this is going to be covering a requested deck build, which is a Ghidorah based deck. Since Ghidorah only has like 4 main monster cards for the main deck, I decided to spice it up a little bit. So it is going to be more Ghidorah and Mothra based. So sorry for the guy that requested it. And there is just no way possible to make it really like King Ghidorah heavy at all, unless you make it unfunctional, and I'm trying to make this somewhat functional so that if you want to play it somewhat competitively, you can play it competitively or for fun. Choice is yours. At first I was going to build it as a green-purple base, but this is a purple-blue base deck. And reason being is because of Drat. Because I was like, I am not going to exclude Drat from the whole deck list, so I decided, fuck it, I'm going to throw it in there. So here's what we're going to go from. We got Godzilla's Invasion. You know, your standard Godzilla base card. If you're running blue, you're running it, so +3 time. Shin to Shin Collapse. I consider this a Ghidorah card because of the fact is it's got Mecha King Ghidorah on it. It's still a good card. It's still a good 1-drop card to revive or to add back to hand one of your dead battlers. Next we have Aqua Mothra. Now at this point in time, I went through and threw in most of like the standard stuff before I threw in this guy. So honestly, he's to fill in space, but I feel like Aqua Mothra is a good, you know, space filler, not only for the theme, but it's a good card all around. It's got evasive, so it can't get attacked, as well as it's got withdraw, so whenever it does die from battle, it goes back to your hand, so it's recursion. It's also a 5-drop and it's 4 strength, so it's pretty decent. Next we have Destroy an Infant. This guy is a really good card to make your action cards less of a cost, and it's just good thing to have him. And if he happens to be revealed in Guardian stack, he happens to be good at stopping attacks, so that's a good way to go about it. Next we have Awakening, not only for the Mothra theme, but it is just a really good blue card to run. You get to draw 2 basically, one from your main deck, one from your extra deck. All around solid card. Now we have Little Godzilla here because you're going to be needing time in this deck. Now I am running all the Ghidorahs I can possibly run. Not all of them are at 3. Reason being is because they're too big. But hopefully having Little Godzilla, Destroya, Infant, and Godzilla's Invasion helps you build up your time base by making like Godzilla's Invasion a free +3 on your time. So I'm hoping that that works out. A little defense as well with Mogira, because you need defense in order to make any, you know, deck work. So having 3 Mogira in it is really solid, as well as if you're late game and you happen to be swinging with everything, have extra time to be able to play Mogira, you're able to get more attacks in. So solid all around. Drat is a solid, you know, turn 1 strat to drop a 1-drop and then say pass turn. Drat also has a pretty good combo with Gravitational Beam whenever we get to it, and I'll explain as to why. Then we have Mothra 1996, busted as hell card. I've been saying it since day 1. Still really good to play in this deck because you can go sneak attack Mothra Leah or Mothra 1996, Okay, dies, reinforcements effect, play Aqua Mothra or any of your other low drops for free. So, good card to combo off with this deck. Then we have Batra Larva. This guy's a really good low drop to have early game. Causes some issues, sets up plays to attack certain problematic battlers, as well as EX Fodder. EX Fodder. There we go. Because when he's destroyed, you get to draw a card. Good card to have there. Gravitational Beam. Now, it is a bit unconventional, but for 4 cost, for 4 time, you can choose one of your battlers, add it to your hand, and then choose any battler on the board and destroy it. No restrictions, just any battler. It's a really good card, and comboing it with Drat is amazing. Because if you already have Drat on board, spend 4 time, kill a battler that's problematic as is, swing everything else you want, play Drat from your hand to end your turn. Bam! Your opponent's got 1 time to fuck around with. It's problematic, and it time screws your opponent so that they're giving you butt tons of time back. Now this works really swell if you happen to have built up board presence beforehand. If you don't, it may be more of a risky card, but is the risk worth the reward? That's a lot of how this deck works, is high risk, high reward, because you either are going all out to get your Ghidorahs out, or you're going all out for building up your little board to amass a small army. And so far, it seems to work quite swell. Primitive Mothra is more EX fodder. It's a good, early game monster to just kind of just swing into the stack blindly. If it dies, you get to draw. If not, he's there for another turn to swing blindly. Fairy Mothra is another busted card. It's a good card to have just for offensive and defensive plays, so that you can just spot removal what you want after you've sneak attacked, or to have it in your guardian stack to pop something that your opponent has. Mothra Larva, again, another really good early game card, another good EX fodder. And a lot of this is EX fodder, but a lot of it is targets for Mothra 1996, because you need to have as many viable targets as possible. And a lot of the EXs for this deck are kind of big. Lightspeed Mothra is another really good card for this deck, because if you Mothra 1996, reinforcements out Lightspeed Mothra, then you're able to attack with Lightspeed Mothra, because Lightspeed Mothra happens to have fast. So if you happen to have time left over, then you also get a free beater. And this guy also has evasive and withdraw. So if it dies, it goes back to your hand, it can't be attacked. So really solid all around. And if it's in your stack, it's destroyed in your guardian stack, it gets added to your hand. So it's going to be a problem no matter where it's at. King Ghidorah 1998 is a pretty solid card, in the fact of the matter if you're able to get it to stay on board. Now, the tap to choose any battler that's 6 or less cost and destroy it, really good. Really good effect. You just got to get it out, because that means that you had to pay the 9 cost that it takes to bring it out. And that's why there's only 1 of it in here, because 9 cost is pretty big. Now, sneak attacking with this guy could help. It's just, it makes it so that you never are really able to use his tap effect, which is quite sad. Like, I get the tap effect is good, but for 9 cost, goodness gracious, it makes it almost unusable as a card. in my eyes. I don't really see a lot of people main decking King Ghidorah 1998. So, now King Ghidorah 1991. This guy is a more viable option to main deck because he's 8 cost, 7 strength, hits the stack for 2, can't be attacked, and when he's summoned, you choose any battler with 4 less cost and pop it. So this makes it so that he is able to really like clear out small targets and keep a board presence. Now, whether or not you want to pay the 8 time is up to you. But my next card is going to be the one that I mainly go to have, which is Ghidorah. Ghidorah is more of a go-to card in my case because his destruction effect you're always going to get no matter what. So you can sneak it. He's a 9 cost, 6 strength Ghidorah. He's about nearly the weakest one. Him in 1998 had the same strength. But you can sneak attack him for 7. He hits the stack for 2. Really good. And when he's destroyed, choose any battler with 6 or less cost and destroy it. Can't argue with that. That's busted card right there. The best Ghidorah card besides Drat. So having him in here makes it a lot more viable to run King Ghidorah based decks. Onto the extra deck list. The extra deck list, it kind of varies. I thought of a lot of Mothra cards, a lot of King Ghidorah cards, and a lot of other stuff that could help that was good. So first we have Mecha King Ghidorah, and they're for the, theme. But it's actually pretty decent, not half bad to actually get into. It's a 7 cost, 7 strength. It's got fast, hits the stack for 2, evasive, and when it dies you draw 3 cards. Now that's not too bad, but then you have to realize you have to kill this thing in order for you to get the draw 3, which seems kind of like a waste, but then again, I mainly don't run Mecha King Ghidorah in my normal purple builds, but it's just, he's there for the archetype really. Same thing with Batra, because I figured why not throw him in. He's also makes this deck more viable for low cost EXs because he's 4 cost, so that helps quite a bit, and it also helps you get out your smaller fodder because the most cost on a monster in this deck is 3 cost. That's the average cost, so it does help out quite a bit in terms of spamming out your little guys so you can EX fodder for more. Next is Destroyer the complete form, because he's busted, making everything beefy and beefing himself up at the same time. Yeah, he's in here. Armored Mothra, same thing, really good card. It's got the standard, Mothra stuff, fast, evasive, and withdrawal. So it's going to be reincursion even when it dies in battle. So it's going to be a constant thing that you're going to be using in order to get rid of small boards and stuff so you get more stuff out of your monsters. Mothra 1992 may be an option for you, maybe not. Fast, hits the stack for 2, evasive. When it dies, you get to draw an EX. So it's really iffy. I don't really like the fact that a lot of EX monsters have death effects. I feel like they should have more board effects, but yeah, it's just iffy. Ghidorah, the god of the sky. It's got fast. It's got hits the stack for 2. as well as he's got reinforcements. So he's going to be really helpful even if he dies, as well as if when he dies you get to draw an EX. So this guy is good all around if he dies. He's got 9 strength for 8 cost. You really hope he doesn't die, but if he does, you can get out some pretty mean stuff. Godzilla 1972, even though it's a Godzilla based card, I put it in here because it's got King Ghidorah in the background for the artwork. So don't at me, but it's there. It's Ghidorah, you know. This card's a solid card. I would run it in any blue deck because it's fast, hits the stack for 2, withdraw, as well as on summon your battlers untap. So more battle fodder. And then finally, your last beefy boy, Kaiser Ghidorah. Now, Kaiser Ghidorah is really nice because he's got 10 cost, but you can sneak attack him for 8, is it? Yeah, you can sneak attack him for 8. And he's got fast, hits the stack for 3. When he dies, choose any battler and it dies, as well as a 10 strength. So he is fairly simple to sneak attack out in this game. If you happen to draw into this guy, I don't see why you wouldn't be trying to sneak attack with this guy. Like, swing everything you can and then EX off everything and summon this boy out and just swing, because he's probably game if he hits. But that's it for this Ghidorah and Mothra themed deck. I feel bad because there's not enough King Ghidorah cards in order to really make its own like standalone deck like there is Godzilla stuff. But then again, I'm really hoping that Chrono Clash does make, you know, a series 2 for the Godzilla stuff, because if they do, then that means that they'll be able to give us more monsters, more you know, variants in cards and stuff, so that, you know, maybe purple can have some protection, you know, maybe some like red can have some more different stuff and better cards, you know, maybe give us a lot more purple cards, because, you know, that's a little lacking in that department. But I would like to see some, you know, new Godzilla set stuff. And Chrono Clash system, anybody that's, you know, in the Chrono Clash stuff, please, for the love of God, give us another Godzilla set. You gave Naruto multiple sets. Give us another set to at least have good decks. I'm not saying these are bad, it's just they're not as competitive as Naruto and everything. You give us, you know, the same like kind of setup for that, man, you're gonna have a really good time, you know, balancing out everything and then having a lot of players having fun with each other because they're able to actually compete with the decks they want. That's the only main issue I see with Chrono Clash right now, is the fact that you can't have mixed battles because the decks are so different in terms of power. Like, some Godzilla based decks can Shrek a Naruto deck, but most Naruto decks can kill Godzilla based decks. And with Evangelion coming out, you know, as of recent, you need to have, you know, more things that are like, okay, hey, we need to be able to put, you know, Evangelion against Godzilla and against, you know, Naruto. Now, if we can't mix the decks together for like, oh, I want a Ninja Kaiju deck, you know, then at least give us the ability to battle other IPs, so that, and to make it so that it's fair. because I don't want to go take my Godzilla based deck over to a Chrono Clash tournament and get my ass handed to me because my cards aren't powerful enough to go against something like that, because my set didn't get more support. Now I know that's gonna, have to deal with like a lot of branding stuff and everything with Toho and all that other. But, give the players what they really want. I mean, I only really heard about the game because of the Godzilla stuff, because a lot of people hopped in on it because of that. And keeping those kinds of fans around and getting them into the other sets does help if you've, say, hey, we're going to provide support for your IP to make it better. And that would help a lot. So, think on it. Think on it. We know you got a big brain there, hopefully. But, just, think about it. But, if you want to check out the links in the description below, there are links to the Facebook groups for Chrono Clash. If you haven't joined them, go check them out if you play the game. There's also going to be a link to the official Chrono Clash Discord page, which a lot of people are already on there, so go check that out as well. And, why not check out my Facebook page? Give me a like and follow, Give me a little subscribe, ding the little bell so you be notified. Something. Keep up with the channel. Maybe. But as always, guys, keep up the shenanigans. I'll see you in the next video.